Okay. Okay.
I was going to say, whenever y'all are ready to speak, to come towards the mic.
What we're gonna trade off.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Your phone, because this will pick up. We have a room mic and then the different press.
Doing all right? Good.
Oh, that's Boston, Boston.
I would ask everyone to silence their mobile devices. Please silence your mobile devices. We'll be starting in 2 minutes. Thank you. Dr. Bostic from Stafford. He was able to say a word as well. Thank you for letting us be here. So what you're gonna say, right?
Yeah.
You've been representing Reynolds, been representing Chautauqua.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you say like that? To the media, there will be a YouTube link with a video posted on our sheriff's office social media site. We'll be issuing out a joint press release from Representative Tom Reynolds and Sheriff Fagan with the case glass. I don't know how many of you are gonna, from the stations are gonna post the full video, but we'll keep an eye out. One more minute. Scoot down a little bit over here on this side, please. I can have you scoot in to fit in. 30 seconds. Before we get started, we're recording from the sheriff's office, so we'll watch the cue. We'll have Sheriff Eric Fagan begin the press conference. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Jackie Preston, Communications Director and Public Information Officer for the Sheriff's Office. Please call on me, I'm Maria Rivera, who will also be translating in Spanish after the speakers have spoken. We may get started.
Good morning. My name is Eric Fagan, the Fort Bend County Sheriff. We called this press conference today because of what happened in Uvalde and us being prepared for something that we pray never happens here in Fort Bend County. My plan was to have all law enforcement agencies to work together to protect the most precious thing in our state, and that's our children. I was honored to have State Representative Ron Reynolds and State Representative Jason Satan to join me in this effort. So what I would like to do is this, to have all municipal law enforcement agencies, constables, sheriff's deputies across the state of Texas. When your officers are on the street patrolling, waiting for a call, to stop by a school, walk around the campus, check the doors, make sure that they're locked and secure. If they find one that is not locked, to notify the administrators. Today you see before you school superintendents, constables, law enforcement officers, ISD chief of police. In Precinct 4 alone have 30 elementary schools. In Precinct 2, where Constable Smith is, it has over 25 plus elementary schools. And like I said, Constable Beard has over 30. We need a force multiplier. If all of us work together, we can do this. We can protect our children. Right now, I would like to call on the state reps to speak. First, it will be State Representative Ron Reynolds.
Good morning. I'm Ron Reynolds, and I'm so proud to serve as state representative in House District 27, which we're currently in right now. I want to thank Dr. Bostic, the host, the superintendent for Stafford Municipal School District, for opening up this beautiful facility so that we can host this press conference today. And just recently, Dr. Bostic and Superintendent Dr. Nevins for Lamar Consolidated Independent School District, just a week ago, we were here holding a day with the Secret Service, talking about many of the issues that Sheriff Fagan, under his leadership, is implementing in Fort Bend County. Now, I must say that as a parent of students in Fort Bend ISD, but for the grace of God, it could have been me, just like those parents in Uvalde, when they were unfortunately having to bury their children. Sheriff Fagan, I want to thank you for your leadership. I want to thank you and all of the men and women here in law enforcement that just, I guess it was maybe a month ago when you were assembling us to talk about your vision, and you had constables from each precinct. You had the chiefs of police from all of our municipalities, from Katy to Missouri City and the small ones. You had all of our ISDs from Katy, from Fort Bend, from Stafford, under one roof, talking about a combined law enforcement presence. And we saw the report that was released, Representative Deton, from the House. They did a very extensive report, a bipartisan report, that showed that there were massive failures from law enforcement in Uvalde. And that's not to cast any aspersions against law enforcement. Certainly, mistakes happen, but these mistakes, unfortunately, tragically, led to additional deaths. And so we're being proactive here in Fort Bend County. This is the model for all 254 counties in this state. This is the model. This is something that everyone should do to be prepared for emergency preparedness, so that if, unfortunately, God forbid, a tragedy, a mass shooter enters or attempts to enter a school, that there are safety preparedness and there are contingency plans to make sure that that person is apprehended very, very timely and efficiently. And so I want to thank Sheriff Fagan for his vision, for not waiting on the state, which ultimately, legislatively, I do believe that there should be some common sense gun reforms that don't infringe upon Second Amendment rights. I do believe that there should be universal background checks. I do believe that we should raise the age to purchase an assault rifle. I do believe in red flag laws, but that is for the legislature, and that is something that Representative Deton and I will have to face next legislative session. But right now, we can't wait. School starts. My children go back, for example, on August 10th. Other schools, they have different start dates, but August 10th is just around the corner. And we wanted the parents and the students to feel safe. And I'm confident with what these men and women have come up with. I'm confident sending my kids back to school. And that was the ultimate goal when we met, is to make sure that our children felt safe going back to school, and that our teachers and all the support personnel felt safe. And finally, I want to say that this is the model not just for Fort Bend, but for America, in terms of working together across the aisle, because I have never seen a mass shooting bullet that identified Democrats or Republicans. This is something that impacts all of us, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, no matter what your socioeconomic status is, it doesn't discriminate. And so this is an issue that we must tackle head on, and not just with hopes and prayers. I'm a man of faith, but faith without works is dead. And I want to tell you that Sheriff Fagan and our law enforcement officials have come up with a great plan that I feel very confident with, that our schools and our communities in Fort Bend County will be able to operate safely. And so I want to thank Representative Jatan for his leadership and for being able to work in a bipartisan manner to come up with some solutions, not waiting for the state to act or the federal government to act. This is what you call leadership. And I see our district attorney, Brian Middleton, is here, and they have made sure that under their watch that we put people before politics, that we put public health and safety before anything else, not just with rhetoric, but with actions, with preventive programs and diversion programs and programs for our youth. That's what they've done. And I think that is why Fort Bend County is going to continue to be one of the safest places to live, work, and play. So let's continue to keep our kids, our teachers in our prayers for a safe school year that's about to start. But I do want to say to all of my constituents that I truly believe that no matter where you go to school in Stafford Municipal School District, Lamar Consolidated, Fort Bend ISD, Needville, any of our schools here in Fort Bend County, that because of this combined law enforcement presence that Sheriff Fagan laid out, you will be in the safest schools in the state. So thank you, Sheriff Fagan, and thank all of our men and women, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is J.C. Jatan, State Representative for House District 26. It's an honor to be here with my colleague, Representative Ron Reynolds, Sheriff Fagan, members of law enforcement, our school board members, our superintendents, our district attorney, teachers, parents. We have come together here in Fort Bend County with a concerted effort to make sure that our communities are safe, that our schools are safe. I can tell you that I've held many titles over the years, and the most important to me is the title Dad. I have a 10-year-old and 14-year-old that both attend Fort Bend ISD schools, and just like everyone else, after Uvalde, there's concerns that come up with whether or not our children are going to be in a safe place when they're at school, and are they going to come home safely. The efforts taken by Fort Bend County here is a clear sign that the law enforcement, all the law enforcement agencies, are all interested in making sure that our schools are safe. The school board members and superintendents that are here believe that policies and procedures need to be in place to keep our schools safe. The teachers that are here and everyone else at the schools recognize that when they read the report that came from Uvalde, from the House committee that came out, that the policies and procedures without follow through mean nothing. We have to go and lock our doors. We have to make sure that the safety latches and everything else are in place, that when law enforcement shows up to the scene, that there's a commander, that everybody understands their role and responsibility in neutralizing the threat. These are all things that you have a team here very interested in making sure that our community is safe. At the state level, several actions have occurred. I'd like to outline some of those. There's $105 million that were put in place for school safety and mental health initiatives. The TA was directed to put in place a chief of school safety and security. That individual ensures that each school district and each school has proper policies and procedures in place. The Governor Abbott directed the School Safety Center to begin immediately conducting comprehensive school safety reviews to ensure all Texas public schools are following the appropriate procedures to maximize school safety. Texas State University's nationally recognized advanced law enforcement rapid response training program was provided to all school districts across the state, prioritizing school-based law enforcement. And Texas Department of Public Safety, TEA, and Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board were directed to expand and accelerate their efforts to promote the ability to report suspicious activity known to students, staff, and families through the iWatch Texas reporting system. This iWatch Texas reporting system that you can find through iwatchtexas.org or call on the phone number to report suspicious threats ensures that when there is a threat found, noticed by one of us, that we're able to turn those in. The Secret Service, in their analysis of targeted school threats outlined that most of the attackers were bullied and bullied in open. People knew that this was happening, and those same attackers also communicated their intentions to attack. It's important for us to pay attention and to be vigilant in our communities and with the people around us to ensure that we are reporting those threats. And so I'd encourage everyone, and this is a thing that while you have this team up here prepared to keep our community safe, I think we all have a role to play in recognizing those people around us that are being attacked, are being bullied, are those in need, and making sure that we step up and befriend those individuals or get them the help that they need before tragedies happen. We have an opportunity to help those and care for those around us. And so I appreciate, again, the members that are up here and those that are across this Fort Bend County that are willing to step up and secure our schools and ensure that our children have a safe and productive school year. Thank you.
Thank you. And like Representative Jeton just said, we have to be proactive in this. We need to be proactive. Also to protect our children. So I know you hear this all the time. If you see something, say something. The teachers, pay attention to your students. Understand when they're being bullied or somebody report bullying. It's not like when we were growing up saying just take it. No, they don't just take it anymore. We have to step in to take action. And so that's why this group is together. We're working together hand in hand to protect our children. This is a multiplier force, not just the ISD police department anymore saying that it's their responsibility. It's all of our responsibilities. So I'm so very grateful to have municipal law enforcement officers here, constables here, the sheriff's office, and I'm very happy that our district attorney, Brian Middleton, is also here, because this is something that crosses all boundaries. So at this time, I would like for Brian Middleton to come up to say a few words.
Thank you, Sheriff. I don't think I can say any more than what has already been said. I just was standing there looking at these fine men and women standing here and feeling proud about Fort Bend County. This is a community that has come together, that is united. We all understand the importance of protecting our schools, and I can assure the public that our ISD departments have done an excellent job in protecting our schools. So don't be afraid to send your kids to school. But what this effort marks is a reinforcement of what's already there. What happened in Uvalde was a lapse in the security was there. This effort assures that there won't be any further lapses. So people of Fort Bend County should be proud of this effort. And I thank the sheriff, the representatives, and everyone that's involved for stepping up and protecting Fort Bend. Thank you.
So that would end our press conference, but before I end that, I'll be remiss if I wouldn't have the superintendent to come up to say a few words. The superintendent of, they'll come together, both superintendents. So at this time, we'll speak with the superintendents.
Thank you, Sheriff Fagan. My name is Dr. Robert Bostic. I am the superintendent of schools for Stafford Municipal School District for the last 8 years.
I'm Dr. Roosevelt Niven, superintendent for Lamar Consolidated, and I've been here a year.
Together, we worked on bringing together the second a day with the United States Secret Service, and we were so proud and happy to be part of the continuing effort with what Sheriff Fagan had mentioned about bringing law enforcement together. Because school security is not our second priority, school safety is our first priority. We're always looking for activities and items that are going to make sure that we continue to keep kids safe every day.
Right. And so the one thing I'd like to issue a charge to everyone. First, I'd like to thank
everyone at the podium, especially Sheriff Fagan and all of our elected officials and our trustees and all of our law enforcement. The main thing I want to make sure that we know is it's sad that it has taken such acts of violence for everyone to prioritize school safety. And I've said in the past that, educators and parents have always prioritized it, but now it is a priority for everyone. And so my plea and my charge to everyone is, let's not forget school safety tomorrow. Let's make sure the school safety is on the front of our minds every single day, because no parent should ever get that phone call that your child's not coming home today. And so when parents send their students to us, our job is to make sure we take care of them, we educate them, we feed them, and we get them back home. And so, but it is going to take every single person, every single adult, every single community member. And as Sheriff Fagan says, if you see something, say something, so we can make sure that we look at all threats and make sure they are credible or not.
And to our elected leaders who've done such a great job helping us get here, I can thank our Mayor Willis, who's over here, who also allowed this opportunity today. Mayor Willis, I think, is to the side. I hope he's over here. And then trustees, Trustee Ash Amarani is over here. And
yes, I have my school board president, Mr. Alex Hunt, and one of my other trustees, Mr. John Welch.
we'd like to thank them for their outstanding support for when we brought up these initiatives before Uvalde happened. When we brought these up before they happened, they said yes. They said yes with their votes. They said yes with their dollars, because school safety is first. We make sure we do that so kids and families feel safe before they walk in a classroom.
John.
So at this time, we will answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, just touch on the details of the plan. You kind of mentioned it at the start. Your idea is to have officers who are sort of waiting around, waiting for something to happen to sort of look at schools. Kind of go through this. What do you
What I'm saying is this. Officers are on patrol, all officers across Fort Bend County, when they're on patrol and you're waiting for the next call to drop, to stop by a school in your district, walk around that school to check the doors. Not just my agency, but all the agencies, sheriff's office, constable's office, municipal offices do that in Fort Bend County. Look, school shootings, we found out that these shooters look for soft targets. And I don't want our schools to be a soft target anymore. By having this, a force multiplier of all these different agencies partnering with the ISD police, that means somebody will be eyes on that school majority of the time during the school hours. So if we can get all law enforcement agencies across this county, but not just across this county, I want to see this go on across the nation. Like I said before, our most precious possession in this state and in this country are our children.
So this effort basically includes patrolling, increasing patrolling in school areas. Am I right?
It's not increasing patrolling. While they're on their regular patrol shift, waiting for another call, they'll stop by a school in their district. This will take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, to walk around the school, like Representative Justin said, to make sure that all the safety implements are being followed. Check the doors, make sure they're locked. If they find one unlocked, to notify their school to lock that door.
Sheriff, you mentioned locked doors. That's something that the TEA kind of made a call to after Uvalde, to make sure all the doors in the state schools are checked. Are you aware, or maybe any school district leaders here are aware if that has been done within the county?
Well, I can't speak for every school in the county, but I'm pretty sure I've met with all the school superintendents, and I know that they're looking at that. Look, Fort Bend County is one of the safest counties in the nation. We work together. We work together. I had no hesitation from any superintendent when I brought this up. All of them are very concerned about this. So we're making sure that all these steps are being followed.
There are two superintendents behind you.
Yes.
Would like to add anything on that. You're aware if all the school doors at your individual districts have been checked.
My chief of police is here. I'll let my chief of police talk about it.
Thank you. My name is Dallas Warren. I'm the police chief at Lamar CISD. And yes, TEA has mandated that, and we are doing that on an ongoing basis. It's not something new that we've been doing. We are always continually checking those to make sure those doors are locked. TEA is mandated that this summer. Those have been completed, but our officers are going to be checking that ongoing all the time throughout the school year. And I appreciate the efforts that the sheriff and the constables and the other municipal leaders have made here to come by and check on our schools while our officers are there conducting their business and keeping our students safe. So I want to thank everybody for that.
Chief Richard Ramirez from Stafford.
My name is Richard Ramirez. I'm the police chief for the city of Stafford, and I'm also charged with the responsibility of the law enforcement officers that are at the Stafford Municipal School District. And as Chief Warren said, checking the doors to make sure that they're locked is something that we've been doing. I understand that TEA just mandated it this year, but that's an ongoing process that our SROs do throughout the day, and we also do audits yearly. In fact, the SMSD just had an audit done with some retired Secret Service and retired U.S. Marshal came out and did their audit. So it's something that's ongoing, and it's always preventative.
I'll just add this too. One of the things that, in addition to what they were already doing, this extra presence will serve as an additional deterrent. When a potential shooter is thinking about coming to a school and they see various law enforcement agencies patrolling or walking around, then that's probably going to make them rethink that. So this is an additional safety precaution that will probably likely be more of a deterrent from someone even thinking about doing something. So I think, Sheriff, that is an additional tool that is going to go above and beyond, because they were already doing it anyway. And now these other officers that with the force multiplier that he's talking about will serve as an additional law enforcement presence, because with budgets, they don't have even enough officers to hire more officers, but now they do. They have a whole village of officers. So it takes a village, it takes all of us working together, and that is essentially what his vision is.
Mr. Reynolds, one second, hold on a second. The shooter in Uvalde was running from cops, ran to school, he saw a cop pass, and then he ran inside. So I'm confused. He saw cops around and still went inside the shooter and shot him up. Am I missing something?
No, you're not, Scotty. Look, that shooter and most of the shooters have mental ailments. We're not saying this is 100%. We're saying this is a force multiplier. It may stop something. We don't know how many it will stop. Is it 100%? We can't guarantee that. But we can guarantee that we have more officers' eyes on these schools.
One of the failures at Uvalde, and everybody knows this, I'm not saying anything new, was not only the unlocked door, but it was the fact that officers were waiting out the hallway for an hour. How can you address that? Are we going to do that here in our schools? Are we going to wait till somebody finally shows up and does something?
I had a meeting with all the law enforcement executives in Fort Bend. I called at a meeting at my office. And no, that will not happen here in Fort Bend County. Look, we're not, we're concerned about our children. We don't have big egos. Whatever agency is there first, whatever city we're in, that's the agencies that's going to be in charge. But the very first thing any officer should do when a school active shooter is happening is go in. You don't wait, you go in. Help is coming, but that's what you signed up for.
Can you give me an idea of just sort of how many officers, in the village will be sort of on the streets? I'm sure you know in your department, but you've got those agencies more.
Yeah.
Well,
If everybody, and I really believe Fort Bend will be doing this, but just think about it. If everyone, not just here in Fort Bend, but Harris County, Montgomery County, Brazoria County, you're talking thousands. And like I said before, school shooters look for active shooters look for soft targets. Well, now our schools are no longer soft targets. I don't believe in Fort Bend they ever been, because as the ISD chief just said, they've been doing these things already. But this is just a force multiplier. We're making it even harder.
And obviously not going into any of the emergency plans, but can you kind of explain maybe any school district leaders or even you, Sheriff,
Well, plans haven't changed. What we're doing is working together. Look, I have active shooter training at my agency. I've invited all the ISDs when I start having these training to come in. Likewise, Katy ISD, Lamar ISD, as also, when they have training, they'll invite us and invite other agencies. So when an active shooter event were to happen, these officers will be comfortable already working together to go in. No hesitation.
Superintendent Bostic.
Okay. I'm sorry?
Without going into detail, you've been in the district for 8 years, as you said, or so. What has changed, if any, within your emergency plans? Obviously, going into detail.
Quite a few things, and you mentioned, I'll start off with the caveat that a lot that we can't mention. We don't want to tell the bad guys exactly what we're doing. But we didn't start off with the day with the United States Secret Service by accident. As he mentioned, we've done this for several years. And so when we have the retired federal marshals and retired Secret Service agents come and check our doors and give comprehensive reports, they give to our councils and to our trustees and elected officials several things and items that we do. As a matter of fact, several of them you're standing in this room around in this conference that you may not know that will protect and keep you safe, that are already around you that may not necessarily be advertised to everyone else. We've also changed many of our processes throughout the day inside buildings and what people look for in the day. Besides just looking at your driver's license, they're looking at quite a few more things than that. And some of the processes they do with kids every day. And as we train teachers each day, some of the required trainings that come up. So there's several. Matter of fact, they've added on more. When we got more from the governor's office, those were in addition to what we were already doing. So.
My name is Lieutenant Mike Harvey. I just wanted to take a little second to address the door issue that you asked about. Fort Bend ISD, I believe we are the largest school district in Fort Bend County. We have already completed our door survey, gone around and checked every door to make sure they're locked and make sure they're lockable. Any issues we found during the course of that project, we've corrected already prior to the beginning of school. So I just wanted to make that point. Also, I think Fort Bend ISD is a little ahead of the game on a lot of things, and some of our school districts in Fort Bend County are ahead. Fort Bend ISD already has lockable vestibules. We have electronic entry is already established, and I know Congressman Jaton's son goes to Travis, so yeah. So we have a very vested interest in making sure all our kids are safe, and we have pre-done a lot of that work before school starts.
It's my understanding that Fort Bend ISD has police officers at every single high school and middle school, and then there are patrolling officers in the elementary school.
We have a patrol division. We have one officer assigned to every secondary school and 2 officers to every high school. While I'm thinking about it, I need to recognize Judy Day. She's one of our board of trustees that's attended this press conference. So welcome, Judy. Oh, and Rick Garcia, I'm sorry. I didn't see you over there, Rick. So I just wanted to talk about some of those things that we've already pre-done and pre-planned a lot of these things that TEA is now mandating. So.
For anybody else there on the panel, we talked about Uvalde and unlocking the door. Everybody keeps talking about the unlocked doors and everybody checking to make sure they're locked. But you're talking about also now Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook had the locked door, front door. He shot the side window, fine dude, shot 2 people the first day, ran to the classroom. Have you guys reinforced the glass?
We have measures that won't allow that to happen anymore in our schools.
A lot of things have been already done to protect our schools, and like the lieutenant was saying, we don't want to give the bad guys a head start on what we're doing. But look, Fort Bend County is one of the safest counties in this country, and we just want to make it even safer. Look, this is a force multiplier, Think about that. If an ISD only has 2 officers there, well, now they have another officer stopping by, checking. And mistakes happen everywhere. Mistake may happen. What we're doing is just checking, helping to check to make sure the doors are locked, making sure nobody is walking around scanning the school. It's just another protective eye on our students.
Just want to point this out too. You know, as far as windows go, you do want to be able to have that escape for children if there is a fire or something else within the room. So you wouldn't be able to do that. I do believe it is a procedure for all the schools to have each classroom locked as well. That'll prevent them attacker going from one room to the next.
Any more questions? For our Spanish-speaking constituents, we want to have our Fort Bend County Sheriff Narita Vera come up, but as she does that, there will be an opportunity for you to interview the officials here today. We have a teacher, we have others from Katy ISD here, board members as you've heard, so please feel free to interview them right after this conference. Ms. Vera?
Muy buenos días, mi nombre es Nereida Vera, soy vocera del alguacil de Fort Bend. Primeramente quería agradecerles a todos por estar aquí con nosotros el día de hoy. Muchas gracias a los comunicadores por el medio por estar aquí con nosotros. Este verano, el alguacil de Fort Bend, al igual que los policías locales que están aquí presentes, también representantes del estado y distritos escolares, se reunieron para platicar y discutir sobre un tema muy importante que es la seguridad de nuestras escuelas. Este tema es importante para nuestros padres de familia que ahorita las clases van a empezar, este verano ya va a terminar. Y esto es algo que siempre están pensando los padres al mandar a sus estudiantes a las escuelas. Nosotros aquí en el alguacil queremos decirle que nosotros estamos aquí para nuestros policías locales que trabajan en nuestras escuelas, en nuestro distrito, en nuestro condado de Fort Bend, que estamos aquí con ellos. Ellos están aquí en las escuelas presentes en donde nuestros estudiantes y nuestros maestros también aquí están. Entonces, esto es algo que el sheriff Fagan está pidiendo que los policías cuando están patrullando y están trabajando que se paren en nuestras escuelas aquí en el condado y platiquen con los maestros y también que puedan checar si las puertas están cerradas y están bien para poder proteger a nuestros estudiantes y a nuestros maestros y personal en nuestras escuelas. Es algo que nos va a tomar a todos que estamos aquí presentes en el condado para poder trabajar juntos para seguir protegiendo a nuestros estudiantes, maestros y personal aquí en el condado de Fort Bend. Gracias.
Thank you.
I need names left and right.
That was good. Great job, man. Great job. Great job. Good job. Good job.